Hey, welcome to the channel. My name is Eric, and I thought we'd go back into, I know that we've hashed this before, but it's been quite some time, of getting access to the dealer portals. And what's a dealer portal? A dealer portal is basically you username and password and you log into an area, right? And they give you the username and password. Well, hold tight. We'll be right back. Hey, welcome back to the channel. My name is Eric. Today I thought we'd talk about chainsaw safety. Alright, so if you didn't already know, my name is Eric, and we try to do videos Monday through Friday is the weekday in the mornings. I usually try to throw a couple educational repair ones out, like today with the dealer portal, because there's a lot of misconceptions, right? And the misconception is that anybody can sign up and use the dealer portals, and that's not the case. What I've found, and each manufacturer is different, all right? If you want to be a dealer for Briggs and Stratton, Husqvarna, Cub Cadet, each one of them has a different, different levels, all right? And what the entry level is, usually they want you to buy so much as far as inventory, and they like it even better if you're doing warranty. And even like your aftermarket companies like Stens and Rotary, last I knew you had to be a actual repair shop, a physical location doing repairs, and the expectation of those two companies is that you are taking the parts that you're buying from them and you're putting them onto customers' machines, right? And that way, that's why they're willing to warranty them, because they know that hopefully you have skill, right? That you're a repair shop. And not everybody can call themselves a repair shop, all right? You got to have your tax number, you got to have your business license, your EIN number. We're dealing with the feds. There's a lot to it, and a lot of them require you, especially when you're doing repairs and warranties, is you have to carry a $5+ million or more liability policy. And the reasoning for that is once you touch that machine and it leaves the door, if somebody gets hurt, they can come back on you if it's something that you did or didn't fix right. But when it comes to, excuse me, for you guys that are doing your do-it-yourselfers and you guys that are getting into the business, weekend warriors, don't quit your day job, building the business up. Those are some of the things that you can look at as far as viable in the future. But maybe right now isn't a good time because you can't afford to step out and buy so many dollars worth of inventory that you're probably never going to sell anyways. They say they're fast moving parts, but I can tell you right now, I still got MTD parts when I first signed on with them in Cub Cadet that are still here from the day that I signed on, and that's 2006, 2007, if that kind of gets you. What I find is not all distributors are the same. I've got one that handles the Cub Cadet and the AYP and that, and their tendency is to, on new dealers, they force the crap that they can't get rid of any that are new old stock, right? That nobody wants. And what they have within the dealer's portal and stuff is you have different levels, all right? I think with Briggs and them it's called the diamond, where you're a stocking, you have so many of their engines, you are buying a lot of parts from them. You can aspire to get to that point, but I'll tell you, probably around 90-95% of the people that get into small engine repair, even on the retail end, never get to that point. I mean, you have to be a huge dealer. And that means you're selling a lot of Briggs engines. You know, like when I signed on with Honda so I could get access to their parts, I ended up with 9 or 10 of their engines. And I could mix and match. But it set me back over $5,000. I can remember that back in 2006. And there was nobody selling the aftermarket parts for Honda. And at the time, I was doing a lot of business with the military, with the Coast Guard, with the Merchant Marines. I mean, they were all running Honda stuff, and they wanted OEM Honda. And they approached me because I was set up to do business with the U.S. government, you know, with their agencies. What's it going to take, Eric, to get you to help us? Because you always come through on other stuff for us. Take on Honda for us. So I did it, $5,000, and then I also spent more money on parts to bring in what they felt was the minimum. And let me tell you something, a lot of them want to take a picture of your shop, and they don't like competition. So they don't want a Briggs engine sitting next to their Honda engine. They don't. And if they had their way, that Briggs engine wouldn't even be in the building. And some companies that you're going to deal with are going to be that way. They're either going to be, you're either all this or nothing. You know, which I think is a bit asinine unless your product can't measure up to the other ones, you know. Honda's got a good name for itself, but now they've cheapened the motor itself, and now you have all these knockoffs. I call them the Honda clones, and now everybody in the aftermarket community, Stens especially, for years now has carried a bunch of the Honda gas tanks, you know, the filters and all the other stuff. But when it came to the government, they wanted OEM. It had to have an OEM sticker on it. And those guys, they just used a military credit card would be up to, I think it was $10,000. Is it worth it? Yes and no. Because the first thing you have to think about is you're going to have to lay out some money. They don't just give you the access to their parts and yada yada yada. They want to see a commitment from you saying that you're going to sell their product. And the way they're going to do it is they're going to ask for so much money up front with product. And if you're floor planning, you can get away with it a lot easier, right? But me personally at 62, I don't want to be stuck with all that debt of the equipment coming in. Could I probably become a bigger dealership? Yeah. But I already got friends that are doing that are pulling their hair out and are stressed to the max constantly. You know, I guess the only way to quit stressing is you get yourself so far in debt, you'll never get out. So you just enjoy it, right? On somebody else's dime. But I want to be able to, my business since 2006, the way I built it was, if I want to say, screw it, you know, I'm done, I want to be able to lock that door on the building, which is paid for. Everything in my shop is paid for, and I don't owe anybody a cent. That's the way I want to be able to have my business run, and that is debt-free. I know a lot of people say you got to make money on somebody else's money, but debt is debt, folks. It's whatever your comfort level is. Now, getting back to your do-it-yourselfers and the guys that are aspiring to become repairmen, and you're working weekends and nights, and you have a day job, a day paycheck. As I said before, don't sign on just to have access to their portals, because you can do it right through Google. Jack Small Engine, parts, replacement parts, parts 3. I mean, there's a number of them out there, guys. And if you punch it in and you punch in the model number and then add parts diagram, they'll start showing up. And you can click on them to get the part numbers you need, right? Now, Can you order OEM at a discount? No. No. You're going to have to be a dealer. That's the only bad part about it. If you're a stickler and you want OEM, then you're going to have to ante up and become a dealer for them. So hopefully that's kind of cleared things up. I know some of you guys are trying to get a shop going. And I just helped one kid out here yesterday. And he's building a shop. His father has got a huge car lot, big auto salesman up in this area. But he's not willing to help the kid. What he was in dire need of was an air compressor. I happen to have 3. And the one that I sold him yesterday was brand new. It was an 80-gallon Ingersoll Ram that I had bought as a backup. And then I had a friend of mine that did body work, and he bought a 60-gallon, and he painted for a living, auto body and then paint. And it was allowing a little bit of oil through the system. So he went out and he bought an oilless compressor, and I bought that one off him. So I had 2 spares sitting here. And normally I would be a stickler on price, but I remember what it was like trying to start out. He's trying to do it debt-free, and he's hustling his ass. And those are the ones you want to help, right? So it's all in what your comfort level is and how far you want to get in as far as dealers and dealerships and portals. And I mean, I could take one manufacturer and spend a whole video in the morning on just each manufacturer and what their requirements are. And they change from year to year. But in the end, a lot of the parts that I'm buying, to be honest with you, are coming off from eBay or Amazon because it's so much cheaper. On that note, you guys have a great day. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. I appreciate them all. And we'll catch you on the next one.